Greetings and welcome to Spider-Man Porch channel. This time we have another glorious Game Boy adapter, and it's the Super Game Boy. The cartridge appears to be in playable condition. We'll take it apart, we'll clean the contact pads, make sure everything is in working order. This is a used cartridge, of course, so we are already going to notice some tool marks. Looks like somebody that I purchased this from had already been inside this cartridge, so it may have some faults to it. Interesting. Well, let's open it up and let's see the Super Game Boy. I am stoked having this back in the collection again. It is just awesome. I missed having this. It was just like one of my collector carts, you know, like a cart that I had in my collection, and then it just vanished. It was like one or two moves later and it was just gone. I was like, what? How? It just happens, you know, like whenever you move and some things just end up disappearing on you. Notably these Super Nintendo games, they're so quick to go. Oh man, I absolutely love this adapter. What was the first game I played on it? I think it was Zelda Link's Awakening, and then I believe it was like a Double Dragon and Mega Man 2. And I know I played quite a few Game Boy games using this particular device, and I was so happy to have it because it allows you to play them on your TV screen. You don't have to play them so portable, and if you run out of batteries, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so the shell looks in decent condition, actually. There's no cracks or anything like that. No posts busted on it. Alright. We'll definitely put this underneath the digital microscope. Oh, it's actually screwed in there too, isn't it? Cool. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Thank you so very much for tuning in and watching me take apart this Super Game Boy. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you for all the subscribers and followers. It's absolutely amazing how far we've gotten in a matter of even a year, how much the channel has grown. It's just absolutely awe-inspiring. It's exceeding my expectations. Okay, nothing broken. A little bit of cleaning. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. But yeah, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's see what this looks like on the inside. Oh, look at that beautiful piece of engineering. It's an engineering marvel. Alright, give me 1 second here. I'm going to go ahead and bring it down a little bit so you can see it better. Alright, I'm back. And yes, we will put this underneath the microscope, but I just wanted to make sure that we get the chance to just marvel at it. It was made in 1994, and it's basically a Game Boy. You know what I mean? It's like it's just basically a Game Boy, and it's ran through the Super Nintendo. I like that it needs this right here. This is usually SA1 chipsets. You need this. These extra. This one specifically, that pin right there, because I know Super Mario RPG has that as well. For all the carts that I've been looking at. Oh man, this is just absolutely fascinating to me. And yes, I'll flip it over so you guys can see the other chipsets and all that too. There, all the other markings. Got the CPU right there. And yes, we'll put it underneath the microscope so that you guys can really see those so much more clearly and all that. But here we go. You guys can go ahead and get a picture of it. You got it? There you go. Excellent. Okay, I think I'm going to need at least a couple more pieces of foam underneath it to give it some structure here. So give me a second. I'm gonna go ahead and set up the rest of the cameras and stuff and get it all situated. Be back in a second. Okay, I am back. Oh, yes. Absolutely awesome. Why don't you guys tell me down in the comment section below whether or not you got a chance to play with the Game Boy Player or the Super Game Boy, because I never got a chance to actually see this stuff that much. Like it was there, right, in part, and then it just was no longer there. You know, like you had it in your collection, you played it for a little bit while it was out, and then you had to go to work or you have other things going on in life. Give me a second here. I'm trying to get a finer focus on that there. Perfect. How's that look? And of course, it blurs out on this camera here. But our main focus point right now is through the digital microscope. Let's go ahead and give this a quick wipe down. I'll be so impressed and happy that this would work immediately as soon as we put it in the console without having to do any major repairs. I don't know, we may end up needing to solder something here or there. We'll figure something out. Maybe need to redo those caps, because I might actually have replacement caps specifically for that. You can see where some of them work, like this pin set only. I bet you the back might be blank. We'll see. I'm checking those capacitors too. See if you got any gnarliness extra. And it just looks like growtiness on the board. A lot of wear on this particular cart. And right now I'm just going to go over it with the digital microscope. It's a little closer than I would like it to be, but I need to pick up that extension on it. Look at that off there too. And board markings. Get the light off. I don't see a lot of flux either, and those vias look really nice. There. Alright. Not bad for the first pass. And then now we'll work on cleaning up this side of it instead. Start grinding away on it too with the electric eraser. Oh, there's a broken trace, it looks like, almost. I don't know if you guys see this one or not right here. Yep, that might be the culprit of why it's not functioning properly and why somebody opened it up and checked it to see what was going on with it. I mean, I did get it for a reasonable price, so I am not complaining whatsoever. But it's just like, I don't believe I was told that it had any significant problems with functionality. So there's a broken trace. You could tell that one's broken. Alright, so we'll have to fire up the old Heiko and do some trace repairs on some of these, and then put some conformal coating down after. How does that sound? Yeah, nice little repair video. I mean, I'm going to do it anyway, regardless of whether or not I need to or have to. I'm still going to. I can see that there's the negative pin set right there. It goes right to the And if this right here was grounded, or I mean, if it wasn't grounded and it didn't work properly, that would also take away its functionality. Yeah, those traces are shot. So I can get that focusing a little bit more. Sorry for the bump. Yeah, you see the wear on it. Yeah, we'll definitely hit that up with some flux and all that. That looks good. We'll get that spot too right there above it. We'll get that trace. That one looks like it's really mangled. That one's bad. You could tell that one's almost broken completely. I mean, I could check them real quick with for continuity here too. So we'll probably do that. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the multimeter. Okay, I'm back. Got the multimeter all squared away for continuity. So let's go ahead and check those contact pads and see which one's got the issue with it. Let's definitely check this one first. So we see it's this pad right here with that via. Alright, so we got continuity. I'm just going to go ahead and then cover this over with some conformal coating. Let's see if we got that one right there. That is so odd. Okay, we got continuity on that one. Okay, this one's gonna be a shot, so give me a second here to get to it. Got it. We're still good on that too. Was that all the ones that we were looking at? That may have been potentially an issue. Let's check this one anyway, just in case. Yep. Okay. It looks like it's just going to be a little bit of some scrubbing, cleaning, and yeah, conformal coating. Excellent. Well, I'm happy that I actually have this tool, because I haven't used it in a while. So I actually had to pull that out of its box. Oh man. Alright, yeah, this is kind of crazy. I have way too many pieces here in the way for me to properly clean this. Need one more? Maybe. Eventually I'll get rid of the whole foam concept and use magnetic electronic PCB jigs. They're made to snap into place and just rise it right up. I can use risers too if I really want to, but I don't know. I like this process. It's nice, it's fun, it's comfortable. It's right where I'm supposed to be at. I think that's significantly dried now, so we can buzz away on that, but I still see a bunch of spots there. I want to clean it. I could do it after too. Just we're going to clean all this up anyway. Okay. You can get busy on it. Again, thank you all so very much for following me and subscribing to me here on YouTube and on TikTok and on Instagram, Facebook. I'm all over. I might make a Reddit account. I haven't decided yet. There's a few other Clapper. I think that's another one I wouldn't mind trying out. But yeah, thank you all so very much. It's beyond greatly appreciated how many of you have been just following me since the start. And it's been one heck of a ride. It really is. It's been awesome. So let's get busy cleaning this up. see what I'm doing on this side here? Yeah. The footage on this camera over here is not going to be that great. I'm trying to get it just right, but it doesn't want to, yeah, see, it doesn't want to cooperate. And that's the reason why I really wanted to change out my cameras here eventually. I won't have to use this phone anymore, and I'll have broken down the audio and everything else too. Okay, we're going to go ahead and polish this spot up too real quick. Get all that off of there. This one as well. And if we have any issues with those after we've polished them, we'll fix them. Like we don't, it's not like we don't have the tools. Erasing decades worth of wear and tear and grime and grody-ness. Right, and I need to change it out my eraser, bring it up a little bit. Just going through this media really quick. Stoked about it. It's nice. It's super satisfying cleaning up afterwards too. Yeah, look at all that dirt right there on the end. Just getting wiped away. Well, erased. Let's get that spot erased too. Yeah, I'm not noticing any flux on the board here while I'm working on it. So we're doing good. It's not reintroducing material back onto it, leaving a rather gross trail behind. Oh, look at that. It's just like, it's so satisfying seeing that. Yep. Gotta get those vias cleaned up too. Man, it is everywhere, all over everything. It's what a marvelous mess it makes. It's so awesome. See, I'm willing to tell you guys that. I mean, it makes a huge mess, but it is just so satisfying. It's like being in school all over again, reliving it over again. You know what I mean? Like, you smell the eraser too. It's like, okay, you recollect study hall. For me, it's study hall because my senior year, I had 3 study halls. Yeah, I had 3 study halls because of I transferred from one school district to the other, and the previous school district had accreditations that were much more greater than. Like, you had to have these particular requirements or you're not going to be able to graduate. Well, I already had all of those courses taken by my freshman and junior and sophomore years. So by the time I got to high school in my senior year, it was 3 study halls, which allowed me early release so I could get myself to work and stuff. Because I had a job by the time I was 13, 14, paper routes, and then I worked at Perkins, then I worked at Taco John's, then I worked at J.C. Penney, worked at Sawmill, I worked at so many different places here in town, and then over in another small town next to this one, a little mining town, and I worked in 3 businesses in that small town. So I always was busy during school. And that was, of course, during my delayed entry program stuff, too. So I was keeping my nose clean, staying out of trouble, and trying to get into physical shape so that when I go into boot camp, or when I went into boot camp, it wasn't going to be such a struggle for me. And that was probably one of the best ideas I could have ever done. Okay, I'm going to get cleaned up. Give me 1 second here. Awesome. That was a huge mess. It was an absolute huge mess to do all that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and clean this up real quick here. And get this section of it all clean. I hope that shows up all right. It's all good. It's just really gross right now. I'm going to flood that entirely with some rubbing alcohol here, and I'm just going to clean it up the right way. My apologies for getting my hands in the way of that. I'll leave that in there, and just, it's not too much of a distraction, I hope. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a dry side of my eraser, dry side of my cotton bud, and I'm just going to lightly go over this and break up any leftover material that might be left behind after sweeping it. I'm going to take my time. Relax and just enjoy this, because it's not every day that you get to take apart a Game Boy, a Super Game Boy cartridge. And I was always fascinated to see what it looked like on the inside. And now we finally found a cartridge that has these extra tabs that the Super Nintendo has, and my Retro 2 does not have that, so I'm not able to take cartridges that have these extra fins and dump those particular ROMs. I don't have the capability at the moment to do that, unless these pin sets are just not necessary for access, like more it's just for play or for audio or for something specific, like the graphic interface, and the ROM is still there to use. We'll see how that works out with that Retro 2 when I get Mario RPG, or if we happen across another cartridge with these. I still believe that it's made for SA1 cartridges. I believe that the 7th Saga was an SA1 card that we just opened up. It's a chipset on it. That's the gives you that graphic effect, I believe. Processing power, extra processor, something like that. Okay, I want that via cleared, and that is just messed up. I think it's just a piece of... Cool, you can see the little board. I was like, which one is it? There it is. Look at it. So good. Let's see if I can start right there too. think it's safe to say that we can flip her over now and work on the other side of it. Those really, I was going to say, you know, those shined up. Really nice. Like, happy with the outcome of that. And it's the reason why we take these apart. And I am going to go conformal coating that. I'll have to dig it out real quick. But I'll make sure that I get those little spots all done up. And I'll use a toothpick to apply it. So, give me a second here. I'll go ahead and go get that. It's like talks amongst yourselves. Yeah, I'm gonna leave something in there, probably something funny about a game I was playing. So this is the actual conformal coating. We've seen it. It's the acrylic type. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tap those areas that need it. And I'm going to try to be as careful as I possibly can because it's not as thick as I thought, or it's not as viscous. And I don't want to touch my contact pads with it. It's going to be a bit tricky. It's trying anything possible to get it on a contact pad. And this is the best way to do it. We'll get these little spots too, just to be safe. Let me smart some right there too. Now I have it pulled away so I don't get any on the contact pads. Just checking, making sure. So we don't want to go back over it again if we don't have to. Let's get my brightness up a little bit. Hope you can see it. Just a little bit more. Okay, I think we're good for the side. And like I said, I was going to flood the actual connector too, completely with rubbing alcohol. All right, just give me a second here. I'm going to go ahead and let that dry for a second before I start getting busy on this stuff, and I'm just going to take a break. Okay, I am back. Having an absolute blast. Oh, Super Game Boy. Alright, so I actually have the manual, the book. Let's see, what is it called here? Yes, what is it, the Ultimate Guide? Oh, the Complete Guide to the Colorful Side of Game Boy, the Super Game Boy manual here. And it allows you to set the colors. It gives you all the information that you need. It shows you what games are supported, at least a few of them in it. And yeah, it's just really cool to have this, you know, the guide. I was trying to sneak it in there. You'll see here when we do that, when we play the game through the console, I'll have it in the background as some background art, because I absolutely love that manual. It's just, you had to have seen it on someone's collection shelf somewhere. I know I did. I saw it everywhere. It was like, I think I saw the actual book for the Super Game Boy more than I actually saw the cartridge itself. You know, like availability, like for where it was everywhere. You can just, yeah. Anyway, I'm just really thoroughly enjoying myself. I'm sorry, everybody. I just am. Oh, this is just great. And if it works, immediately as soon as we put it into the console, and it's going to definitely put even a wider grin and smile on my face. Damn, that really did eat it apart, didn't it? These are these are some sharp contact pads along their edging and stuff, because it's really eating this thing apart. Alright, we're going to get busy back onto it again. A little ASMR for everybody here. You ready? And that trace looks like it's a little mangled there, doesn't it? And this side we didn't check for continuity either, so we'll have to go back over it again after we're done cleaning it. Like I said, nothing in any hurry today. I think this is going to be probably an hour-long video, if not more. Probably an hour 20. Just want to take my time and really get this done properly. This is really just eating this thing apart. I love it. It's doing an effective job, that's for sure. It's really polishing it up nice. I wasn't expecting it to do all that. Ooh. The joyous mess, all of that chaos. It's like chaos with a purpose. Definitely want to get all of that growth in between. Sorry if you guys missed that part. I wasn't paying attention. Just trying to get some of that cardboard wear and line, get that out of there a little bit. Just buff it out, you know. Not to damage anything in any way. Alright, time to heat that up. And not to worry, I'm not going to put conformal coating down if I know for a fact that the trace is broken, and then cover it up, you know, and then have it not work. That would be the most foolish thing to do. So that's why I checked it with the multimeter to make sure that it had continuity before I covered them up. I didn't want to have to scrape all that off in order to reapply some solder down to fix a joint or something. Then again, I could always put just some wire right over it, kind of thing, you know, like a bridge. And then it would look like garbage. I really don't have that, I don't have that aesthetic touch like other professionals do that have been doing this stuff for years and years and years. Like restoring these things, I don't have that capacity to do all of these steps necessary to do all of that work. And I myself personally, I would rather just, you know, if it comes down to something like that, I was like, I'm just going to send it off to somebody that I know and trust in the gaming and repair console community. You know, like my Nomad, my Sega Nomad, I don't believe that I have the skill sets necessary to get the one working. The other one's working perfectly fine, so I'm not worried about that. But the other one, though, I think that one's going to take a little bit of troubleshooting to figure it out what's going on with it. Or it's just going to need the triple bypass or whatever that part is that it would need to get it restored and get it working again. And by that point, I would just like, you might as well put a screen in it and a bunch of other stuff too to get it really going good. So I'm just taking my time here cleaning some of the stuff up. It's fun. But yeah, give me a second. Go ahead. Yeah, look at that focus on this. It's like, come on, you can't tell me that it doesn't see what's in front of it. It's just it's just being shady. See, that's a little bit. Alright, I'm back. Woot, woot. Alright. So now I'm just going to go ahead and buff this out some. I'll test this for continuity to that. I think that's a resistor, isn't it? Might be. I know that's a cap, that's a resistor then, or component. However the board is labeled. I'll probably check that one too. And see that little piece of eraser there, the blue spot? That's why we do it that way, so they catch any little piece that might actually still be on the board after brushing it off. is just IPA. You get to watch it disappear. And I love seeing that evaporation effect. It's really cool. Yeah, because for years it's like I never got a chance to actually see anything that up close and macroed. Something about this camera here. It does not want to record properly at all at that angle. Let's see if it works this way better. Is it going to stay focused? It looks like it's going to stay focused now, right? Isn't that ridiculous? Like you just go at one angle and it doesn't want to work, and then another angle and it works. Okay, so at least I figured it out. I'll get you getting used to. Okay, I think we are good to go on all of this stuff now. We can just go ahead and just inspect the board itself. We don't need any more of this foam stuff. I'm not going to be sanding anywhere either. I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick pass over through everything. Just give me, starting from the top left, and we'll just go over it. I'm trying to be as careful as possible. I don't want you guys getting motion sickness or anything from it. There's a little flux along the board right there, which we'll probably end up cleaning up. Or just leave it there. That's not good too. And I will have to flip it over now in order to get the rest of the board. Because we're catching. Sorry. Here we go, we're flipping it over. And we'll get the rest of it this way. Top left, like I said. You could look at the contact pads, but we'll do that here in a second again. And plus, besides, we're waiting for that to dry. Just want to make sure my contact... Sorry, I just want to make sure that these... seeing that looks interesting. Anyway, these two caps look sus, or three caps actually, isn't there? There's three caps there. They look a little suspect, like you might need to replace those. Checking those traces. Doing a quick pass over once again in the same section. I see something right there. Flux, isn't it? Thought maybe that may have been corrosion or something. Once over. Like I said, I was just making sure we get everything all squared away. And my apologies if you need those chipsets and I'm going too fast over them and they're upside down or something. Do your best, please, by all means, hit the pause button. I want to make sure they get that. I think we are good. I don't think we need a stall or anything anymore. I think we're ready to go. Okay, give me one more pass over these. these pads. I'm going to make sure. And I'll find out what those caps are, if I have replacements or not too. If we have issues with it starting up next. And I still have to check those pads for that. Didn't I do that already? Or did I just do that one side? You know what? I'm just going to double check anyway. And if I did, I'm just going to cut the video out. Oops. I don't think it really matters what side it goes on, but it just seems this way is better. I'm supposed to go right to this capacitor. Yep, we're good on that one. Any other sus? You're suspect. Still good. I'll clean that. Check you out too, just in case. Sorry if that's loud. I'll adjust that in post-production. Of course, we'll check this last little bit right here. This one. Where does this one go? Does it go to the actual chipset? Let me see. Check it through here. Does it go through a via, or does it come back around and go right to here? Is it the same one? It might be. Well, let's check it out. It was there for a second. Is it one of these? It did single it. Interesting. Okay. Well, either way, we'll take a look at it and play it. Check it out. And I still have yet to flood this whole area out with rubbing alcohol and cleaning it all up and stuff. And yeah, we'll turn off the digital camera for that stuff. Okay, give me 1 second here. I'll readjust the camera. Okay, here we go. A little better. Yeah. You can see all the scoring along the board in here too. And get a lot of that debris everywhere. But yeah, the contact pads turned out brilliant. Really happy with that. Conformal coating turned out really nice too. I didn't get any on the actual pads themselves. I am starting to notice planned obsolescence with these old phones. That's why the phone isn't working as it's supposed to be right now. It's glitching out, and it only does it on certain days. You know, like the days that Samsung doesn't want me using this phone, that kind of thing. And it's one of those things. Something we gotta deal with. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and soak this entirely, and then I'm just gonna like drain it out. And as it's doing that right there, I'm gonna pull out the actual Game Boy version of my cleaners. You could use a credit card too. An old credit card would be perfectly fine. Just be cautious. because you may catch a contact and pull it out, that kind of thing, but I wouldn't be too concerned about this one specifically. Is this the Game Genie one, or is this, sorry, not the Game Genie one, but the Game Gear version? I think it is. I think this was the Game Gear one. And I think this one's the Game Boy. Yep. That's the Game Boy one. It's not going to last very much longer, but at least I have it to clear and clean this out. That's so awesome. Right, so that is an awesome looking cartridge by the time I've said it and all done. So we'll go ahead and we'll put it back together again and we'll play some Game Boy games in it. How do those pins look? Looking sharp. Doesn't look like any of them are missing or bent or anything. We're good. That's conformal coating all looks good too. All right. Well, I'm gonna dress this up now and make a video quick for TikTok, and then I will go ahead and we'll put it back together again and play it in the console. See you guys in a little bit. I'm back. Let's play a quick game of Castlevania The Adventure on the Super Game Boy. I am very pleased with the outcome of this particular cartridge. And yeah, let's go ahead and give it a shot. The problem child of all of our Game Boy games. Let's see what it does. Fingers crossed. Wait. Gotta get that. Bit. Are we gonna record? We're recording. Good. Plays right away. And of course these carts are going to play right away too. Is it going to take an 8-bit though to sync? Nope. It worked. Alright, now what we're looking for is graphical anomalies and glitches. Oh, look at, you see it? I don't know if you see it right now, but I already see the graphical anomalies and glitches. It must just be inherent in the game. Still very, I mean, wow, this is awesome. We can change the border to whatever we want. Which I like the actual Game Boy border. That's fine. But then we could do... Oh, is that borders again too? No, that's just the... I want the colors. There we go. There's the palette so we can change it too. I keep thinking that maybe it might be the actual palette that's causing it, but no, it's just the way the game operates. You can see it. Alright, now, my opinion on which is better, Game Boy Player. Game Boy Player is better for that particular game. I mean, you can play the Game Genie on it. This one, the Game Genie just doesn't fit. So now we're gonna play a quick game of Mega Man. Yeah, what was it? Wily's Revenge? Dr. Wily's Revenge. Let's see if it plays right away. That's the cart that I tried cleaning too, with the wet eraser on the outside of it. Turned out pretty good. I mean, alright, we're gonna go Cutman right away. Let's see what this does. Am I going to get that same type of dramatic effect when I get hit? Because that's the one thing I find the most annoying about this game is the actual damage that I'm taking. Oh yeah, it's long. That's a very long hit collision moment. You know, where you get that knockback, and it's just absolutely annoying. Oh yeah, I knew it. I was going to die right there. Why didn't it move? Okay. Is there a controller? There it is. Okay, there is a hand reset. Good. I think that's in all majority of Game Boy games. I think we're good though. I think we've seen the laggy part that's the problem, and that's where I would add just the Game Genie code. I just wish that the controllers had turbo. You know, like a rapid fire button, like the Y button be rapid fire and the B button be the regular. It's still absolutely amazing having the Game Boy games play on full screen, like this. You can take damage down there too, not instant death like in some of these other matches or other versions of the game. Yeah, they're gonna get me in here, man. Look at that! They're really trolling. Like, lots of trolling. At least this time I was able to get around it, right? I mean, on the GameCube Game Boy Player, I wasn't able to get through any of that. I was toast like no matter what. Look at that, it turned me around too while I was shooting at him, just to avoid getting shot by it. That's awesome though, I mean, the effects are nice too on it. Cool. Alright, so we tried that one. Let's try Castlevania 2. And I know I'm crossing over game companies and everything else. We're just testing this this cart out for compatibility, lag, any of those things, because I was speculating that my Wavebird controllers were giving me issues, and right now I'm not having any problems with the 8-bit though. This model. Yeah, here, I'll do a quick one. So we can get a little plug on it. Yeah, SNES 30. I don't know any passwords for this. Let's try one that's less. No, that's this one. It's great. I love this stage. The music in this game is just incredible. This whole game is breathtaking that it's on the Game Boy, and yeah, I don't know. I'm thoroughly impressed with this particular version of the game. Oh no, I remember playing this one on the Game Boy Player, or the player. Definitely remember it from back in the day. I'm not noticing any of those laggy points either, so I think this would probably be the more proper game to grab. Or I should say the way to play it outside of the actual, Game Boy itself. This is awesome. Just sitting back and playing it over here. I'm not gonna guarantee I'm gonna get very far, but it's still gonna be fun to see all this. God, that axe is huge. It's the size of his whole entire body. Come in handy for these ravens. My fault. That was my fault. I stopped pressing over and it kind of just like boop. It's all good. This game is awesome. So we know those all work really, really well. And now we're going to go ahead and give this one just a quick one, because this is what's going to be the next video that I'm going to have up playing this. My favorite game. Well, that's weird. This 8-bit controller loves to sync on the opposite control that it needs to be on for dongles. I'm telling you. There we go. Okay, we are good. I'd just like to say thank you all so very much for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Be healthy, stay safe, happy gaming here.